welcome to Robyn's Reviews. All right, we're still in the book Song for You by Robyn Crawford. Currently, we are on chapters 15 and 16. All right, we're just going to pick up where we left off, okay? So, Kevin Costner was after Whitney for a long period of time because he wanted her to do the lead role in The Bodyguard. Whitney kept putting him off, and Robyn tells about how, you know, Kevin Costner would call constantly and Whitney would be in the background, you know, not wanting to talk to him or tell him, you know, I'll call him back at another time. So Whitney didn't want to do The Bodyguard, and we know she was already, you know, iconic, and she was already a big star. And when she did The Bodyguard, we all know what happened with that. She just went through the, you know, the galaxy with that. So Robyn talks about she had other roles that she was interested in. Whitney wanted to do small roles, if any, because her thing was, I'm a singer, I'm not an actress, okay? So Kevin would not let her go. He said, you know, I'll walk you through, I'll guide you. And Robyn talks about how, you know, Kevin was an excellent guy. He was a real nice guy, okay? And then if you keep up with the tabloids, or if you used to keep up with the tabloids, Robyn talks about the time that she, Whitney, and Sylvia went to surprise Bobby backstage at one of his concerts. And lo and behold, this woman, the mother of his children, comes out. She walks past Bobby. I guess she sees Whitney there. She pushes Bobby in the chest, and it's on. Boom, 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 boom. Fisticuffs ensue. And Robyn talks about how they were going at it, and then Tommy, Bobby's brother, finally broke it up. And before the woman left, she looked at Whitney and she said, I don't care if you are Whitney Houston. If he does this to me, he'll do the same thing to you. So Robyn said Whitney was just there like, you know, deer in the headlights. Whoa, okay, what just happened here? So anyway, that happened. Okay, and we know Whitney received several signs before she married Bobby. This was just, you know, another. By this time, she said that Whitney, you know, was pretty much done with Eddie Murphy. And, you know, she said she really didn't have much to say. All she knew about Bobby, she heard about in tabloids, okay? And she said, you know, she heard, you know, that he was dating Janet Jackson, had a bunch of children, okay, he was promiscuous, all right, all that kind of stuff. So, Robyn, something important here. She mentions that Whitney, when she hooked up with Bobby, that's when her drug use went through the roof. It really increased. All right, and so we know, you know, what the eventual outcome was. Then she talks about The Bodyguard again, how wonderful Kevin, what's his name? How wonderful Kevin was, all right? And she talks about how Whitney, you know, it was a lot of pressure for her. And finally, when it was over, she was, whew, all right, Kevin Costner, folks. All right, just had a moment there. Okay, so she talks about, you know, things prior to The Bodyguard, things that turned serious with Whitney and Bobby. So she talks about she and Whitney and Sylvia were in Montreal, and they get a call. Whitney got a call from Bobby, and Whitney was visibly upset, like, how could this happen? What happened? So Bobby said that he'd gone to Boston to break it off with the mother of his children and tell her that he was dating Whitney Houston. And guess what happened, folks? Accidentally, no one knows how, she wound up pregnant. So Whitney was mad, and then Robyn says that Bobby called her back that night, and the next thing she knew, Whitney came and laid on the bed beside her in their home and was like, Bobby asked me to marry him, and I think I'm going to. So Robyn was like, whoa. Anyway, you know, Whitney was like, do you think he loves me? And so Robyn was still in shock because of everything that had happened. And Whitney, you know, again, so many warning signs with this guy. So anyway, she talks about how, you know, as they were laying there, and you know, Whitney said, you know, you're gonna be my bride's maid of honor or whatever. So she said she tapped her on the shoulder then and told her she was the maid of honor. Okay, and said Whitney said, I love you immensely. Robyn said, yeah, I know. So then she told about weeks later, Whitney and Sylvia and herself went to Atlanta to Bobby's house and said it was a wreck. Said it was totally disgusting, and it was so filthy and disgusting that, you know, Whitney was like, I'm not staying here, let's go. So it was really bad. And she said, next time, I think he had Ian, who was a chef and who was, you know, a guy who was supposed to help him with his finances, you know, was saying that Bobby's family was there and he's, you know, was taking care of all of them. And so, you know, that's what happened with that. And then Robyn talks about the bridal shower, how nice it was. You know, she invited Sissy, of course, her mom, Cece Winans, Dionne Warwick, Perry Reed, otherwise known as Pebbles, okay, Natalie Cole. So she talks about how nice that is. And then she talks about the wedding. Whitney's wedding day, her phone rings. Lo and behold, it's Eddie Murphy. He tells Whitney, don't marry Bobby. And of course, Whitney thinks it's sour grapes. She's not going to listen to him then. This is her wedding day. So, he warned her not to marry Bobby. And she was like, she just blew him off. So then she talked about, and this was in the tabloids as well. She talks about, okay, they went off for their honeymoon. And, you know, they thought, you know, everything was all right. I digress. Also, there was an incident even before they got married, I forgot to mention, in Atlanta. Bobby and Whitney got into an altercation at the Ritz Hotel, and they were thrown out of there. So again, the warning signs were there, folks. You know, so why, you know, she chose to ignore it, I don't know. Okay, so moving forward, again, on their honeymoon, it was Whitney and Bobby, and Whitney's brother Michael, his wife Donna, and there was a call made to Whitney's father, John. So allegedly, Bobby sliced her face, but Whitney, you know, said that they had a disagreement and that she threw a glass that hit the wall and shattered, and it cut her face. I won't say anything about that. Just read my face. All right. So anyway, no one really knows what happened to Whitney's face because she says one thing. Bobby says something about, you know, a fork. He hit a fork jumped up in the air and did a somersault and stabbed her in the face. Who knows? So Robyn talks about how, her makeup artist had to really work to get to hide that mark. But also, folks in the tabloids, they talked about she did have to get some plastic surgery for that. So again, then the Bodyguard World Tour, again, that's where, you know, things went through the roof with Whitney's career. And she talks about how things were and how fast things were moving, and yeah, okay. She also talks about, let's see, where are we here? This is where she introduces Lisa. Lisa's her current wife, Lisa Hinterman. And, you know, she starts talking about, you know, they started just going out, but she didn't want to get serious because, you know, we know how Whitney likes to scare people off, anyone who's interested in Robyn, okay? So she talks about also the show in New York. Was this at Madison Square Garden? Okay, this was, 1993 in New York. At Radio City Music Hall, actually. A lot of celebrities there. She talks about that concert. And so that's pretty much it. She talks about how she didn't see Whitney or Bobby a lot. They usually spent a lot of their time, you know, holed up in their bedroom, you know, so in there allegedly, you know, doing drugs, okay? So, yeah, that's about it. Okay, all right, so Well, those are 2 more chapters that we've covered, and if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching Robyn's Reviews.